good morning and welcome to the UN Global Compact Network Australia and to today's Small Business Big Impacts presentation. Next slide, please. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and I pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. My name is Greta Korthaus. I'm the Stakeholder Engagement Manager at the local network here in Australia. And with me on this call is Simiao, Participant Engagement Regional Manager at the UNGC, who is joining us from New York today. Feel free to share in the chat box your name, where you're joining from, and what you would like to learn more about today. This presentation is for existing and potential new participants of the UN Global Compact Network here in Australia, and especially for small to medium enterprises, SMEs. We are pleased to see a couple of familiar names and faces. Next slide, please. For those of you who don't know us yet, please e-meet the team. Most of us are based in Melbourne, but we also have staff in Sydney and in New York today. Next slide, please. Excuse me. Before we begin, a quick note on housekeeping. Please use the chat function at the bottom of your screen to introduce yourself and or to ask any questions. Please use the raise hand function for questions after the presentation. If you have any technical issues, please contact us on the phone number shown on the slide. We will have time for Q&A at the end of today's session. So for any questions that come up, feel free to add those to the chat box as we go, and then we will pick them up later. Next slide, please. So in today's presentation, we will be covering a fair bit. We'll specifically outline SME-related challenges and how the SME engagement strategy is addressing those. We are focusing on the offering as part of the new business model, which we will recap. There will be a section about the general benefits and support to all Global Compact participants, including SMEs. We will then update you about this year's events and also next year's partially announcements and some of the offerings on the global and local level. And if time permits, which it usually does, Simiao will guide you through the dashboard and the academy and give some helpful hints and tips as part of an academy demonstration. And with that, I'll hand it over to you, Simiao, for a brief introduction to the United Nations Global Compact.
Thank you so much, Greta. Also, it's so lovely to see so many familiar faces here with us and some new friends here with us. So I'm happy to kick off with a very brief introduction about the UN Global Compact. So the UN Global Compact is the United Nations Corporate Sustainability Initiative. We were founded 22 years ago by the former UN Secretary General, Mr. Kofi Annan. He wanted to propose an initiative for the UN Global Compact to work with the private sector with a set of shared values and principles so we can give a human face to the global market. And now we are the UN initiative led call to action for all companies to embed a set of 10 principles into their core businesses. The 10 principles are universal and they came from UN declarations and UN conventions, and they cover 4 key areas that you see on the left side of your screen: labor, the environment, human rights, and anti-corruption. So participants in the UN Global Compact, they sign a letter of commitment to the UN Secretary General himself, commit to align the company's strategies, operations with the 10 principles of the UN Global Compact, and at the same time, the company is committed to work with the UN system to promote, to advance the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, you see on the right side of the screen. So as part of the UN Global Compact, businesses like you can take a very active role in having their contributions represented. Because all of these SDGs, these goals, they require collective action, collaboration across industries, sectors, across private and public sectors as well. So we, the UN Global Compact, along with our local networks, we are here to work with you in a valued and principled way towards creating a greater good and more positive impact for the company and for the society. So that is the UN Global Compact. Next slide, please. Thank you, Olivia. So we are here today to really speak with our cohort of small and medium-sized companies, and of course with larger companies who are interested in working with small and medium-sized companies. And the reason why we are gathered here today is because it's really loud and clear that meeting the private sector's commitment towards the SDGs must include the SMEs, because these SMEs make up 90% of the business and more than 50% of employment worldwide. Right. And with that in mind, we, the UN Global Compact, has made a very clear decision to focus on SME engagement as part of our 2021 to 2023 strategy. So this very specific strategy was developed particularly for SMEs, and the strategy is also available to read and download on our website. We can share a link with you shortly after. And the strategy identifies 5 key streams that will enable the UN Global Compact to engage and to work with more SMEs to adopt responsible practices and then thrive. So I'm going to talk briefly about these 5 streams right now. First is that we are going to create an enhanced digital support platform. And this digital platform will enable SMEs from around the world to access content such as a readiness tool to facilitate SME engagement worldwide. Second is that we are going to create simple, tailored programming on the 10 principles of the UN Global Compact. So I talked about the 10 principles of the UN Global Compact. They came from UN declarations, UN conventions, and they cover these very important 4 core areas on human rights, labor, anti-corruption, and the environment. But how exactly should we do, or should we take action to deliver on these 10 principles, or to take this principles-based approach to achieve longer success for the company? So we will create these learning programs for you all through an online learning platform, through our e-learning courses on the Academy. We're gonna show you more about the Academy later on as well. Also, we're going to create these locally and regionally delivered peer learning groups for all the SMEs around the world. And the third work stream we're working on is a supply chain impact pilot. So now we're working with corporate and with governmental bodies to enable companies involved in the supply chain to take SMEs on a e-learning journey, accumulating in the ability for SMEs to report on their progress and to improve from time to time. The fourth stream is that we are also going to empower our local networks to make contributions to national and regional policy development around trade, sustainability, investment that can really support the long-term success for SMEs. All right, so the fifth stream is that we're going to establish partnerships that promote business opportunities and the access to markets for responsible SMEs through integrating sustainability requirements in procurement frameworks, through business associations and e-marketplaces. So these 5 work streams aim to support and engage with about 10,000 SMEs next year through our online onboarding, e-learning modules, and supply chain impact projects. And then ultimately, we really want to empower SMEs around the world to report on their sustainability progress and measure their sustainability progress. All right, so that is our strategy. Next. All right, thank you so much, Olivia. So with that strategy in mind, we are really going to provide a meaningful pathway in embed SMEs to identify direct linkage between sustainability and profitability. In the meantime, we're also here to help SMEs to absorb tailored content and programmatic interventions aligned with their capacities. So we will really offer you very clear articulation of the benefits of sustainability on the SME's business goals, typical return on investments, related timeframes, as well as the levels of investments required to aim SME decision making. Also, we are going to provide very practical guidance that SMEs can act on to get through the sustainability fog. All right, and then through the remainder of this year, we will invite you to join our e-learning courses and online learning opportunities, as well as an open registration for peer learning groups and academy experiences for the next year. And we will continue to establish partnerships through the UN system and with the private and public sector to ensure the skill we need to drive meaningful impact for SMEs around the world. And should you have any questions for us about the SME engagement opportunities, please feel free to chat with us or use the Q&A feature to leave a question. And now I'm going to turn it back to Greta. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Simiao. So the 2021 to 23 business model has brought a range of positive changes, and I'll recap these for you, or some of you, these might be new. Next slide, please, Olivia. So most of our existing participants will know about this. However, as we have some companies on the call that are either not yet participants or global participants only, let me summarize. We previously had two engagement tiers, signatories and participants, and these have now been collapsed into one single engagement tier, participants. What that means. All participating businesses have access to the online academy and can participate in any events, both globally and locally. And if the academy is new to you, it is the UN Global Compact's digital learning platform, providing business leaders and practitioners with actionable skills to help companies move further faster in implementing the 10 principles of the UN Global Compact and the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. The academy is well curated, business relevant, and caters from complete beginners to subject matter experts. It offers companies actionable insights and best practices relevant to their specific challenges and needs, regardless of corporate function or where you are on your sustainability journey. Also, all employees have unlimited access to the academy. And we will further cover the academy on the next slide. That's the same for our flagship events. If there are any global participants on this call, meaning organizations that are not participants of the Australian local network, so us, the UNGCNA, please note that the new business model requires global participants to join their respective local network by the end of this calendar year. So ideally, by the end of December. If you wish to join, all you have to do, is to return your local network membership form, which Olivia will be sharing now in a link. For those on the call who are not yet participants at all, please follow the next link that is being shared. It leads to a page from where you can apply for global membership, which is the first step before we ask you to join the Australian local network. To finish up this slide, so you can see a screenshot of a media toolkit on the right-hand side there. If you haven't got your toolkit and you are a current participant, please email me and I can send you this media toolkit. Also, companies now get multiple layers of support from the UNGC, including local network support and global support. That means you can access the Global Support Desk, where UNGC support coordinators manage our help desk and can address questions from participants. They can be contacted at info@unglobalcompact, in one word, .org. info@unglobalcompact.org. And with that, let's jump to the next slide, please. So within training, again, you can access the Academy, which is available to all organizations and all employees of participating businesses. There are virtual how-to sessions on key areas towards delivering the goals. There are e-learning courses to help participants learn concepts in their own time, so they're on demand. And the Influencer series is for prominent leaders from businesses and the United Nations to help people understand the leadership area and new sustainability issues coming forward. Let me just have a quick look, sorry. So this is what I just outlined is available to all participants, so access these courses and content on the Academy platform. Also available to non-participants is an Academy learning experience for SMEs. Olivia is sharing the link right now, perfect timing. Prospects can request access to this course via this link. And a little bit more about this from Simiao on the next slide, please.
Great, thank you, Greta. And I also personally took the SME course recently. It's so helpful. I even learned so much. So for SMEs, we recently launched this course series called Future Proofing Your Small and Medium-Sized Enterprise. It is a very interactive 2-module, 16 minutes in total e-learning course. They're designed to help SMEs to get started on their sustainability journey. And the course is currently translated into French, Spanish, and Portuguese for now. And we're also working on translating them into more languages in the future. So if you have business partners or if you have companies interested in other parts of the world speaking those languages, please also recommend them to take these courses. By completing these courses, companies will understand the 10 principles of the UN Global Compact and the benefits of a principles-based approach. And we also included a lot of real SME success stories in these courses. So it's very practical. You can learn how to take 6 practical steps into integrating the 10 principles to your business strategy and operations. And even with your limited time and resources, I am sure these 2 modules, 30-minute module each, will be very helpful for you. All right, next slide, please. And over to you, Greta.
Thank you very much. Wayne, we will send you that link in a second. I can see you ask a question. So the new communication on progress, we call it COP, is enhanced. And so let me talk you through what that means. The enhanced COP is a requirement for all participating companies starting in 2023, and it constitutes a significant revision from the COP that is currently in place. So what is changing when it comes to the new communication on progress starting in 2023? We will be transitioning from a narrative format, so we usually requested the submission of a report, to a standardized questionnaire. So we are now requesting the online completion of a set of questions on the 10 principles and the SDGs. I'd like to highlight that we recognize that companies, particularly SMEs, are at various sustainability maturity stages. Hence, while completing the set of questions, companies have the option of selecting not applicable if the issue area is not yet being addressed by the company. Also, the answers are mostly numerical or multiple choice. We will be introducing a digital signature system for submission of the statement of the Chief Executive Officer, which should make things easier. We are also introducing a universal submission period, which is the 1st of March through to June 30 each year. So that is a universal period that everyone has to keep in mind for the submission of their annual COP. It is one single questionnaire, and therefore there aren't any differentiation levels. So every participant answers the same set of questions. And lastly, one important note is to make on the COP Express, which will not be offered anymore in 2023. Olivia is going to share a link, and she's doing that right now, to the Communication on Progress page, which holds a comprehensive FAQ document as well as an actual copy of the new 2023 questionnaire. Next slide, please, Olivia. Now to events, announcements, and other offerings. Thank you. We run several regional thematic events and offer a range of engagement opportunities. In 2021, the local network Australia hosted over 25 events, including large dialogues and forums. This year, we have continued to deliver events such as our Australian Dialogue on Business and Human Rights in Sydney last month, as well as the Australian Dialogue on Anti-Bribery and Corruption only 2 days ago. We also hold an insight series covering emerging topics in a webinar format covering each of our work streams. We provide participant benefits presentations such as this one here today. Major conferences will be held every 2 years to bring people together in person. Our website hosts a number of publications which are currently available for download for free, and we host publication launches with the authors. When there are updates or changes in the landscape, we create timely events. And a good example is our 21 Days to COP27 webinar, which we just held. In 2023, and Simiao has mentioned that previously, we will be introducing peer learning groups, which will be delivered regionally, locally, globally, for companies to learn from each other and share experiences on a particular subject. These will be run on an annual basis, so from January till December, and recruitment will begin at the end of this month with an email going out in late November to all participants. Another novelty is, and we will have to go to the next slide for this, our modern slavery community of practice for SMEs. After much success of the what we call MSCOP, Modern Slavery Community of Practice, which have previously been held for companies required to report under the Modern Slavery Act, we have decided to hold one specifically for SMEs, who are often also impacted by this legislation as suppliers to larger companies. So this will be a by invitation only offering to our participants and is planned for early December, held virtually. We just kicked off our third SDG Ambition Accelerator in October, and more about this one and other accelerator programs in a minute. Regarding the presentations and publications section on the right-hand side, please note that even if you cannot attend, these sessions will get recorded, and the link to the recordings will then be shared with you if you have registered. So always make sure that you register. For interested businesses or those who need a bit of a refresher about the history and purpose of the UN Global Compact, we're holding virtual open house sessions. The next one is scheduled for the 22nd of November and will include participant benefit elements too. Our Insight series are completed for this year, and all the recordings are available on our YouTube channel. Next slide, please, Olivia. Now more about the accelerators. We offer in the local network 3 accelerator programs that run over 6 months, focusing on specific thematic areas. Accelerator programs are very suitable for SMEs and present a great peer learning and networking opportunity. They are based on thought leadership work and are designed for companies to make tangible changes in the processes and activities of their business. It is a program to enable businesses to really set goals and take the action to deliver. The Climate Ambition Accelerator, which you can see green on the slide, is designed to provide businesses with the base knowledge and skills needed to accelerate progress towards achieving net zero emissions, including how to set a science-based target. Participating businesses will gain access to global best practices, peer-to-peer learning sessions, capacity building sessions, and on-demand training. Participants will be asked to nominate 2 representatives. However, only 1 representative is really expected to join the live sessions. In total, participants can expect to dedicate 25 to 30 hours to the Climate Ambition Accelerator over 6 months. The SDG Ambition Accelerator is a 6-month accelerator program that will challenge and support participating companies of the UN Global Compact in setting ambitious corporate targets and accelerating the integration of the SDGs into core business management. Our Business and Human Rights Accelerator has just been launched, and so it is not yet visible on this slide. We will be running this from February 2023 for the very first time. and will help your organization to move from commitment to action on human rights and labor rights. And Olivia is sharing the link with you should you be interested in learning more. Next slide, please. Here you can see some screenshots of our offerings, such as our bite-sized learning videos. These can also be found either on our website or on our YouTube channel. We also have a podcast series that is available for free and covers topics such as ethical investment and the SDGs, the path to net zero, etc. Last but not least, our news and events page gets updated according to upcoming events and learning opportunities. I highly recommend subscribing to our monthly bulletin as well, as it has all upcoming events and opportunities listed. Next slide, please. A quick reminder to also make use of our many publications. Our UN Global Compact digital library is designed to help you to find the resources you need to take for the next step actioning of your sustainability journey. There are many forms of guidance, including for SMEs. Some examples of publications include the Family-Friendly Workplace Guidance, the publication called Are Your Anti-Bribery Procedures Adequate? Guidance for SMEs, the SME Guide to Corporate Sustainability, and a Guide to Traceability for SMEs. And now over again to you, Simiao, for our global offering.
Thank you so much, Greta. So on this slide, you will see some of our global and regional flagship events that happened this year. And these events are complimentary and open to all employees within our participants, regardless of where you're from or how big your company size is. And we are going to offer similar events next year again, so please be aware, please note the dates, and please also look out for emails, invitations coming from the UN Global Compact. And with more than 30,000 event attendees that we have received this year alone, our events truly offer this unparalleled networking opportunities with industry leaders and with peers. So some examples I want to show you. So for this year, in September, during the United Nations 77th session of the General Assembly, we organized a series of events at our New York headquarters. We also made the event to be virtually attendable as well. So during the time, we had a very high-level event. It's a CEO roundtable with a group of CEOs attended and having direct conversation with the UN Secretary General. They talked about really concrete call to action. How do we take urgent action, transform from commitment to concrete action? We also had a very practical sustainable investment forum for the global CFOs to attend to discuss the ways to close the sustainable investment gap and the success stories, case studies from the global CFOs. Also, we organized a private sector forum for anyone who is interested in sustainability for sustainability professionals from around the world. Also in the region, in Asia and Oceania, earlier in June, we had a full-day event in Bangkok at the UN ASCAP headquarters. And the topics were prioritized for the region, such as biodiversity, small and medium-sized companies engagement, and SDG integration and scaling up our SDG ambition. In just these few days happening right now in Egypt, we also have several events happening during the COP27 in collaboration with our UN partner, UNFCCC. So events at the UN Global Compact offer very high-level multi-stakeholder dialogues, and we also offer opportunities for you to exchange knowledge and then receive support on the implementation of strategies, partnerships, and leadership examples. In addition to these in-person experiences, I also want to remind you that the online access is always complimentary and open to all of our participating companies and all of their employees. So that is a recap of our this year's event. Next, please. Great. So, Greta, if we have time and if we don't have any urgent questions from the audience, I'm happy to share a quick demo of the Global Compact Academy if people are interested in that. I don't see any questions in the chat. So yeah, thank you for informing us that you need to leave early, no worries. So let me quickly run everyone with a quick demo of the Academy learning platform. So let me share my screen. Great. So I'm now sharing my screen. This is the link to the UN Global Compact Academy learning platform. So as Greta and I discussed earlier, we are currently offering a 2-module course on SME engagement to help SMEs build the capacity up, build the knowledge up on how to take action on the 10 principles, those very core values. So the platform, the Global Compact Academy platform, is open to all employees within your company if your company is already a participant of the Global Compact. For any new user, so any colleague from your company who hasn't had any experiences on this platform or who hasn't gained an account on the platform, they can create a platform by clicking on the top 1 option on this sign-in page. So they are a UN Global Compact participant, but they don't have a login. So after they click on create one here, this page will pop up. It's the create an account page or request access to the Global Compact Academy learning platform page. And you see here, we also offered a account creation guidance for the colleagues to use if they need to troubleshoot. And this is also available in Spanish and Portuguese. So what we need colleagues to do is to first input or find an organization name. So they can put in the company name. For example, I'm going to use AIA as an example, and then they can choose from the drop-down list directly, and then input their contact information. And please note that please advise for colleagues to use the company email address, because we're going to do a cross-check to make sure that the employee is using the email address with the right domain linked to your company. All right. And then after they input all the information, they can click on create my account, and then immediately they will receive an email confirming the account creation from info@unglobalcompact.org. And they just need to follow the next steps to create a user password, and then that access will be granted. We also offer frequently asked questions and troubleshooting guide here on this page. If you have any issues or technical issues, you may reach out to our Academy team directly, or you can always reach out to me, to Greta. We are here to help you. All right, so that is for a new user. How about for those individuals, for those of you who are already a participant, who already have a Global Compact account? So for those of you, you may sign in using your UN Global Compact account directly. So here I'm gonna use my personal account for this demo purposes to show you the platform, give you a very quick run through of the platform. So on this platform, we have divided the courses up in 3 major ways. One is by the course type. So we have courses that are longer, or that are a deep dive on a particular topic. We also have courses that are quite fundamental. They cover some fundamental knowledge about sustainability. And we also have some written guides. So you can find courses based on the course type or based on the learning experience here on the first pillar. You can also find courses based on the topic. So we also divided our course into all of these important topics on sustainability, so you can click on them and then learn more. And for those of you who want to learn more about the new communication progress, our reporting digital platform, you can also click on communication progress, and then you can learn more about the new platform. We are offering quite a few digital sessions as well as a few on-demand sessions that you can rewatch. We, of course, also divide the courses up by languages. So again, if you have colleagues overseas speaking different languages, you may encourage them to take some courses in their home language, right? So this is also a platform that we encourage for peer-to-peer learning and knowledge exchange. It's a great way to engage your employees. So if you want to request for a user report from us, we're able to generate those for you. So you can keep track of your users' learning journey, how much time they have spent on each course, and then the course completion. So you can use that for engagement tracking. All right, so that is the end of my Academy demo. Greta, do we have any questions from the audience?
I don't see any, but if anyone has a question, please type it into the chat box or raise your hand and we can unmute you. Has anyone got any questions about how to join, further benefits about the Academy, any SME specific questions? So for those of you who are not yet participants, if you decided to join today, you would have to apply globally first via that web page we talked about earlier, and then the global team will review your application, which usually takes up to maybe 2 to 3 weeks maximum. If you're in a hurry, let us know. We can probably accelerate your application, but normally that's the average time it takes. And once your application has been approved, you will hear from me, and I will send you the membership form to join us on the local network level. So here with the UN Global Compact Network Australia. And we are then the ones invoicing our participants, and you can start your membership right away. You will get a public profile on the global page and a profile on our local page. And we would then love to collaborate and work with you as part of your membership. Any questions from anyone? Can I see any questions come through? No, I don't think I can. We actually whipped through this much faster than expected. And thank you so much, Simiao, for the Academy demonstration. That is always very helpful. And I love the new section on section on the communication on progress. That'll be highly frequented, I'm sure. Well, with that, we have reached the end of our presentation. Again, if there's any questions, please use the moment right now. Otherwise, you can contact both Simiao and myself directly. We have a QR code on this page that you can scan with your phone to let us know how we went today, or if you would like to stay in touch with us and learn more, we would be more than happy to be in touch. It's the end of the year, so people are very busy, and if you want to have a chat in the new year, let me know. I can do a presentation similar to the one today to your team, for example. So if there's any interest in that, just let me know. Thank you everyone for attending this, well, now 40-minute session today. And thanks, Melissa, for your message. And I hope all of you have a great day. Thank you very much.